Yeah, yeah. I just posted a video yesterday and I had to sleep on it, of course, posting it and it's like speaking about things in real time. And then you kind of sleep on it and you let it absorb. And I guess I may be looking at this wrong, uh, where I have an internal gut feeling not to trust the vice president. Well, it's no wonder I can't trust any of them, considering the past 3.5 years we've just gone through. And then, of course, previously to that, uh, the Obama charade. So clearly, I thought the end was in the Obama charade, knowing he was the false prophet. Now, I still hold on to my beliefs, my truths, as the living word reveals itself that the beast is through the bush, or at least the beast leapt from the bush, from the Bush administration itself, bringing fear and weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, affecting the whole world, really. War criminal, if you knew of him and his papa. And of course, the Jezebel being the Clintons and the prostitute president, the boy that made it big through Boy Scouts. Yeah, jumping in laps and doing all kinds of things. So, anyways, then came Obama, the false prophet, and from the Jezebel comes the false prophet, as revealed um, through Elijah. Yeah, when contending with such. I'm sorry, the cats were just screaming. They're biting one another. They're getting to the equal age, equal size, and so they're being very competitive. Sounds like they're tearing things up over there. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe he locked him in the closet. No, I mean the other cat. They do that, they can lock each other out. So, anyways, and then of course bringing us forth uh, to Trump, the dragon. But then it was just the one term when it should have been the two, and there was a theft. It was there was a strong man that stepped in and entered the house to steal from you and me and everyone. And oddly enough, where it's being revealed that Biden, as an individual, as a family, the Biden family network, which has never held down a business, a true business, has never held anything of the like, has $50 million, $50 million worth of assets coming from not only domestic but overseas banks statements. Now, where's this money coming from? Well, he's a strong man using a strong arm of favoritism. We'll we'll scratch your back if you scratch ours, and so we'll pay you if you'll do this and this and this. And in return, there's deals and wheels and wheels and deals. How does a man who's never owned a business do international affairs? How's that possible? It's laundering and it's criminal activity. It's a cabal situation, lawlessness, pure lawlessness. So I might be looking at this wrong uh, in regards to the cleanup job that has to take place. And here, sorry, I lose my air sometimes and it sucks in. So I'll try to relax. Um, I I like what I heard from the man Thomas Holman. I like what I heard, and my heart went out to that man as far as he should be. He should be the type of man that should hold the second highest seat of the land. And I put that in my heart. I did. Because if you listen to Thomas Holman, you realize we need that man. And then when you look at a politician who rises up speaking trash or playing and pandering and playing the game in order to achieve, and he does. Yeah, he's only been on the scene since 2016. It must be just like Obama showed up. A nobody out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he's everything and he's everywhere. And I just don't like it. No, not in this system. Not in this system. Not only that, but truly, I may not be looking at it correctly, that even though Vance's last name is truly Bowman, and there's he who rides the white horse of the horseman, the white horseman of the apocalypse, is given a crown and a bow. Well, he's not given a bow. Trump has the bow, doesn't he? So Trump takes the crown, which is what I've been speaking about, that we should just crown the dragon. The Christ, he's the Christ child by virtue of his own father, Frederick Christ Trump, that he's his destiny is here. Yeah, as the dragon to be bound to the earth. Well, if you're a dragon in heaven and you're holding a scroll and no one's worthy to open it and you're bound to the earth, you're in representative form here. That means you're here on the stage of this world. You're not on some side street. You're not some side show. You are on the stage. Did you see him at the RNC? I don't have any hair on my body, but I tell you what, all the hair follicles on my body stood up. Watching him climb those stairs and also seeing that Secret Service changed, that there were no women in that crew on that set. No, it would be foolish to put a woman in front of a man and expect her to take a bullet for him, for any man. It doesn't matter who they are. It's not their place. No. The whole fiasco is upsetting about the snipers and about the shooter and his name too. How contrived it all can be. And yet divinely placed, orchestrated by the angelic host. How divinely placed that it's perfect in all ways. And yet here I am upset about Vice President Pitt and saying I don't trust him and that I can't vote for Trump. Well, clearly, maybe I shouldn't vote. And yet, in my heart, I say he belongs here. We should rejoice. We should praise and give glory unto Almighty Yah for having placed him here so that he's bound in chains. Yeah, by his own word. The links of a chain are your words. I saw what you wrote has been placed upon me my entire life. This is the very reason why I was destroyed by those who should have been there to help me, protect me, love me. So I don't take well to the five. Considering I'm the middle child of five. That's right. The third temple. So knowing the body, the soul body, and as it's coming together and understanding the mundane aspect, which is living. It's mundane, isn't it? For us, it's the everyday. It's difficult. It's trying. But it's in such a cyclical pattern, it's cycling out, that we start to read the signs and know the season and then recognize who's who on the stage. And I shouldn't be so worried about Vance being placed as a beau, as the vice president for the type of mundane job that is, being the second highest of the land. The only thing is the potential is that that man will rise or woman would rise up to be president, which we just might take witness to through Kamala, because I don't think Biden can continue. And it's not that it's just not having him just step down is not, that's not what comes through the thief. No, it has to be cut off. And it's not up to us anymore, is it? It's nothing we do. It's nothing we can do. Voting or not voting, there's nothing you can do. Man, the word I was looking for in my previous video regarding democracy is that we are not a mob mentality. No, we're not a mob. I said mass mentality, but it's mob mentality. Yeah, we're not that. Do you see what socialism does and the way they hit the streets with all their protests and this has been going on for time to get. But America never rose up like that hardly. I know there was Kent State and there was all that stuff in the 60s. I know there were protests a lot for human rights. What we're talking about is much different mob mentality because it's destructive and it uses people and they're terrorists. And they don't have a cause other than, well, the destroyer does come to deliver them. So even that I shouldn't be against. I shouldn't fear seeing the cities fall and crumble by the works in the hands of men who coveted. Come on, $50 million. The Biden family and his brothers never worked a day in their life. They've never had a want over their needs. No, pure lawlessness. And the likes of Hunter is just disgusting. Well, the only one that works is Ashley. She has what, some kind of clothing store? Is that what it is? Well, won't make $50 million doing that. Not like that. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I cannot imagine. So all of this needs to come to light. I mean, it's coming to light. It's just a sad thing that we lose a portion of faith through it. You know, they say that a well-loved, respected pastor falls, the sin, those who were ushered through end up falling too. They fall away. It's a great falling away. Yeah, that's what it's like, anyways. Not that they were correct, it's that they were loved and they fell. Yeah, well, the dragon fell. Yeah, the woman giving birth. That's still, I'm in contention over that too, because I took witness, but then yet I was listening to, who was it? Nick Vanderlane, and it was a 3-year-old video or so, and he was explaining how the words used that in Revelation is it's for the one who can see and those who can hear. And it says for he who can see, but in the translation portion of the Hebrew or the Greek to the Hebrew to the English, whatever they do, he realized it could also mean the one. And so that makes perfect sense to me, considering I was the one person who walked out in my backyard and looked up to the Oregon mountains and saw the woman here on as a cloud formation on the top of the spires of the mountain, giving birth. And the sun actually birthed through her belly because it shone through the spires. Spires are the peaks, how they sit. Because if you look at Las Cruces Mountains, they're like spires, you know, like crystal points. And she was in a reclined position as if giving birth. And there before my eyes, the sun rose right up through her, and there was a child born. And it was overwhelming, and I realized it had been exactly 9 months since my friend Natalie was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and she was crying out in pain to deliver. And I was the child that she was caring for, that she was carrying, because she was brotherly love. That's why it affected me so much. And her name made a lie, not a lie, Natalie Green. And so the child was lifted the moment he was born. The man was simply born again. And 7 years after her passing was the eclipse on 4/8, 2024, this year. And that's when I was struck with cancer. That's when I was finally able to get my diagnosis. That's what was the last week of March, first week of April was when I was finally admitted over there. And that's when it all happened. Yeah, that's what's going on in the soul body. Crunchy, crunchy. I don't know if you can hear the crunchies. Sounds like wrapping paper. That's what it is. I gave the kitty cat a lot of wrapping paper, and he's had fun stretching it out, crawling in and out of it. That's just a toy. So, anyways, I might be overstepping myself or getting emotionally involved in doing a video about Vance as being a bad guy or something, someone I don't trust. It's a gut feeling because of all the verbalage that came through and it poured right through, and I wasn't prepared. I'm like, good Lord. Thinking like this guy is now the ultimate antichrist, being right under Trump. How terrible! But it's not that at all. Is it? Trump is the white. Is the Trump is the man riding the white horse, isn't he? Yeah, told to us, and he is going to go out to conquer and to conquer, isn't he? He's been conquering all of us. Yeah, we continue to do so. And then, of course, we have to face the red horseman and the black horseman, and then the pale horseman. The black comes before the red. I think financial then war, or war and then financial. I think it's the black horseman is the next one. I'll have to double check. And then comes the red horseman, and then comes the pale. And it doesn't mean they're presidents. No, of course not. We don't have that much time. Uh, they would be uh, within the context of leaders uh, of the world. So the red and the black and the pale are out there. If the white is here, the white horseman is here. So when the white horseman goes out to conquer and to conquer, well, that's what the expression is going to be on the way in. Yeah, so goods and services, when the black horseman rides, it's going to be terrible. Great Depression is beyond depression. It's the great falling away. It's greater still. So I shouldn't be so judgmental. And I did have someone accuse me today, telling me that I don't know how it was that she said it. I guess I could read it. It's kind of upsetting. Oh, she thinks I'm aggressive. No, I think you're triggered. That's what it is. Good Lord. I held no such guilt. Guilt is guilt. It is to be given away. Please keep yours. The Lala is a land of great opportunity, I'm certain. But the Kaka says otherwise. I'm not a child. You were triggered by my words to accuse me, and again, forgive yourself for believing the mama and the papa, for whatever. I'm sorry about your children being given up, if that is what you mean. Okay, I had to respond to her. This is ridiculous. She says that I gave four rather aggressive reactions in a row. In other words, too personal to make a point. Well, that's just fucking rude. Because I made my point. She says the Ka is the female and spiritual teacher, the source, the consciousness. The Ba is the male, the material, the master God, the identity. The La is the body and nobody, Ka, and student ego, external Ba and internal Ka, value Ba and worth Ka. Okay, so she's talking about the Kabbalah. Yes, she is. And I know what the Kabbalah is, being that of the tree of life. And the tree of life is bound so that the man never stands up. That's why the Kaaba of Allah is the Kabbalah. It's a binding tool. It's magic. It's ritualism. And so what she's talking about is more on the lines of the the beginning source material from what Egyptian, when you talk about the Ka and the Ba. But the thing is it's a dead language and that's a dead people, and we don't live in the living word that way. We don't, not unless we incorporate the word to the present moment. Are there any pharaohs walking around? Hardly. Maybe a horse named Pharaoh. So we don't really utilize the word in the context that was used at the time. And so I say, well, what about, she starts putting the combinations between the Ba and the Ka and the Kab and the Ba and the La and the Ba. But what about the Lala and the Kaka? La La Land and Kaka, you get a little under your nose. Well, she got upset when I mentioned that the Kaaba of Allah is the Kabbalah, and I believe that. And I told her that. That's my belief. And the reason being, it's through the living word that it's revealing itself. And all things should be made known. And she's all, you're so aggressive. I'm sorry. It's not my guilt. She was triggered by my words. She wants to believe in the Kaaba Allah. She wants to bind, use it as what, a ritualizing tool, giving it notion of male and female and having source. Give me a break. What about the ma, the mama, and the pa, the papa? It's time to grow up. So I had to tell her. I said, I hold no such guilt. Guilt is guilt. It is to be given away. The Lala is a land of great opportunity. Yes. But the Kaka says otherwise. Yeah, it's too smelly. Yeah. And so here we go back to the child and they're being triggered. I'm sorry. No. Islam and any portion of it is the false prophet. It is false. It is the father of all lies, as Allah is a lie. It's in the living word, and I can't change that. But I can accept them and say, oh, well, it's okay. They could be caca. No, I don't want to play that game. No, I want to open up doors and release us from these holds. And see, my trouble is my time is short. Yeah, my time is short. So whatever I say is without guile, and it just upsets people and they get triggered. And then I defend myself trying to get through to them, and they get all bent thinking they're self-righteous in their thoughts. Going to Stupidville, whoever this person is. Sorry I even mentioned it. She went into such an explanation of what the Ka and the Ba is. It goes on and on and on and on. it's ridiculous when you know what it is. It's a binding tool. Yeah, the cube and the cross, it's all together, isn't it? Good Lord, it's a mark. Come out of her. Come out of it. Whatever those teachings are. Sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted. Okay, I should do something with myself. It's 6:15. My appointment's at 8:40, and Jeff gets up at 7, and so he can get ready for work for 8. So he can drop me off before 8. He can drop me off at 8, and I can sit there and watch TV uh, until 8:40, till they're ready for me. I don't know. It might be just an injection, and then I'll have to call Jeff and have him come pick me up within 5 minutes of dropping me off. That's kind of sad. I wouldn't want that to happen, but I guess that could happen. I don't think I'm just getting an injection today. I think I'm getting a fusion because I think I'm going to ask for saline. Yeah, I think it's time. And yeah, because I've been night sweating it. I'm really congested. I'm not releasing. So that's just the way it is, isn't it? So God bless America. I should stay out of it. Obviously, I don't know nothing. I only get gut feelings, and I can only go by the words that are fused within me to be reality, which is the living word, as I'm listening and seeing, as I'm witnessing, as I'm experiencing it as the sun perdition, which I know I am. And it wasn't meant for me to be on the world stage. Eventually, someone would realize that I was here all along, and I only came to bring wisdom as silver, acting as silver, because it's an exchange that you can make passage. Yeah, cross that river. There's a great river that you have to cross before you can get to the other side. And across the river, you can see the joy that's there. You can see it. You know of it. But the river is full of fear. Yeah, it is. And so I offer my wisdom to get over the fear and the condemnations of the world. And yet they're picking it up that I'm, what, am I accusing? Am I accusing Vance of anything? No, I said I don't trust him. And they are better served people. But then I think about someone like Holman, Thomas Holman, and he would be strapped to the vice president's seat doing mundane, stupid shit day after day after day, never getting anything accomplished when he could be put in a position where he was in, where he can direct that sort of thing on the border with the truth that they're illegals and that it's lawlessness and this open border policy is destructive and has actually harmed Americans in ways that are just heinous. Well, that's just wrong. And they compared Trump to Hitler. Are they completely sick? Yeah, they are. So why should I stand in the way of such a correction, right? Yeah, it's not for me. It wasn't meant for me. No. So, anyways, I should stay away from people that do silly teaching comments like this. They want to give out all this truth when it's psychobabble. Yeah, it is. In light of the truth, the living word, that which is there, it's here presenting before you. I mean, look at prophecy is being fulfilled. The book of Revelation is the testimony of he who sits upon the right hand. That's Trump. Yeah, because it's the Christ. The book of Revelation tells you. the individual deals with the church, but Trump's going to have to deal with seven churches and seven angels over those churches. And so those letters were written through Paul. Yeah, they were through Paul, because if you look at the letters in Revelation, they're almost identical to the letters of Paul. Whoever John of Patmos was in cahoots with the writings of Paul in order to fulfill, or you realize that Paul received of an angel of light, and this is his testimony called Revelation. And that's why it's there. So Paul initiated what the dragon required, seven churches. Yeah, and now we're looking at chapter 13 differently, and yet it is already done. The mark is already in place. 2 days ago, it's the crop. Yeah, when he said, "Take up your cross and follow me," he meant throw it down. Don't drag it along. Yeah, you have to come out of the grave. You throw down that weapon of mass destruction, whatever killed you, whatever took your life. I throw down the cancer and I rise up. And I think about that poor man, got shot in the head at the Trump rally. Yeah. Well, there's a saint that was called home. Yeah. So he comes with 10,000 of his saints. Yeah, I shouldn't worry about that. So, anyways, forgive me if I've offended you. I mean, you can always come in and look and see what a crazy man I am and say, well, who are you? Well, just block. I mean, I could remove my comments from her comments so that she's not so upset, because I don't really care. I'm sort of apathetic at this point, understanding wise. It's just that I do believe in Tarot as being that of the Torah, being guidance. And so listening to Tarot readings through intuitives is very positive. But then when I run into all these spiritual people who want to do the lala and the kaka to the baba, well, black sheep, well, honey, you're going to be talking to a shepherd. Okay? So, and they know his voice. Those sheep. Yeah, they do. So, God bless you. And have a great day. Today is the 16th, isn't it? So, yeah, so today has the 7-7. So there's a parallel. The 7 and the 7, when you turn them over, is two L's. As it is a parallel, the 77 represents that portion of God, which is a hand. And so the two brothers, the parallel worlds, or the two worlds, or the two um, uh, existences, are being conducted over by a hand, because together they are the number 5, the 7 and the 7. And so that's the penta, the 5, and it is as a star. So we should know in relationship that both of these are stars. It's a parallel binary star system, parallel consciousness that we deal with, even through the male and the female, male and female. He created them. Yeah. Now the Fae can stand alone, because we understand that the Fae is that of the Fae, fairy, being that of the magic of the pagan world. And that still exists, so it's not like that doesn't exist. That exists in the living word. It's whether or not you can accept it in your life, that it would activate, or it can be a part of your recognition. It's probably around you at all times, called Mother Nature, and you're dismissing it when it's the Fae. Of course it is. And I'm not denying such a simplicity of such a word, but it exists. And I know that the rest of all that, the la exists. It does, through the The NPCs that I run into, the Lala exists. And those who have blinders on, like my own mother, the Lala exists. Yeah, just like me. Yeah, yeah. It's two hands of the equation. Yeah, it is the mother and the father. I'm not only honoring Yah, I'm honoring Yah, right hand to left hand. Absolutely. So we know that there is both in the capacity of the Yahya, of the Almighty, that we give praise to, that it's Almighty Yah who must cut these days short. Now, who sends that message out to Almighty Yah? Well, it would have to be someone who is anointed. Uh, and that's why we have what's called the anointed cherubim. And it's up to Trump. It's up to Trump. Sure, he's the anointed cherubim. He is. You didn't notice that? Good Lord. So, at any rate, it's the death and destruction part that I don't really appreciate. Yeah, 1,000 should fall at one side and 10,000 at your right hand side. And no, none of it shall befall you. None of it shall touch you. One would hope that's the case under the covering of the wing. Yeah, it's going to be very hard on us. It is. The putridness and the vile nature of men and what they'll do to destroy the city and the sanctuary therein. Yeah. Okay, well, I hope that wasn't too distressing. And the 7-7 parallel system is upon time, so there's a hand upon time. Yeah, I'm speaking in this way because of the mastery of the 77. Yeah, instead of going to 7 to the 8, and then from the 8 to the day, which is the 7, um, it's better to see the 77 as its capacity, its greater form. Yeah, opens up doors. Yeah, because you don't deny the mastery numbers. And when you see them in triple, then you have to realize that it's all being stacked up against you. You know? And yet it's in our everyday life. It's in our addresses. It's in our phone numbers. It's in our social security numbers. It's in our birth dates. To see those triple digits, even often, uh, 4 times so long. The sins of 4 horsemen. I can't imagine. See, I still believe that the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are 4 races of men, which include us in the story so that everybody's involved. No one's left out. And they are an example of those horsemen if we look at them in real time. Yeah, blacks have always been the measurement of goods and services and used in such a capacity. And the pale horsemen, well, we're talking about plastic oceans and uh, melamine in our food and polyethylene and, well, yeah, the likes of radiation poisoning. Yeah, how is it that now a report came out that, and I know this is kind of a terrible thing to say, but they said that tampons, major manufacturers of tampons, they're discovering that inside the material of the tampon, there, the insertable types, uh, that they contain lead and arsenic. I cannot believe it. It should be shut down immediately. But then, what are those? What are those? Those poor women to do if that's what they're using? I don't know anything about that sort of thing. So God only knows. Go back to the old ways that the Indians did. Who knows? Mhm. It's not sanitary. So we need to step up as a species in our knowledge and yeah, our ability to correct what went wrong. And the fat cats that are up there getting fatter and fatter and fatter, like the Black Rock people, well, we have to knock them down. They it should be illegal for them to be making so many corporate purchases upon our land when their interests are overseas, like our teachers' retirement funds. Yeah, because they're delegating upon the teachers, delegating upon the students in such a fashion that they're changing the laws and they're superseding our rights. Yeah, and to find out that the shooter, yeah, the Crooks, was in one of their commercials. Can you believe that? BlackRock commercial, which is the DEI that must DIE. He was an NPC. Oh my God! And then the turns out the snipers that were on duty could see him. Oh my God! This goes deep. That rabbit hole goes deep. There are wicked people, and I need to just step back and not worry about that sort of thing. Just share my own, not so much views and opinions, but what's going on in my world. How am I doing? How do I feel? Yeah, and the goods and the bads and the uglies, I guess, because that's what this is all about at this point. Yeah, as a messenger, well, I delivered the message, didn't I? Many times over and over and over again. Most people choose to ignore it. Now the little things I offer seem to offend. It's not my guilt. Sorry, it's not my. Okay, take care. Bye.